Hey, it's Zach from Apex Collective, and kind of continuing with, if you've looked at our Facebook, how to identify your competitors' ads on Facebook, continuing with that conversation, but around the organic search results as well as any sort of pay-per-click advertising and potentially display advertising that they might be executing as well. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to introduce two tools, both tools that we've used, kind of talk about which ones we're leveraging now and why, and then how to kind of utilize these tools, not only from just being able to plug in and find the information, but making sense of this data and trying to think about it strategically as you kind of build either a new go-to-market strategy or just look at how you're leveraging digital a little bit greater. So I'm just taking an example brand, Allbirds. I think I used them in the Facebook competitive video as well, so we'll kind of continue that. But I want to introduce you to two tools. One's called SEMRush, and the other's called SpyFu. For purposes of this video, I'll call them near interchangeable. They have a lot of power, a lot of different features. And again, what I'm going to show you here is actually one of the features that we use them the most for as we kind of either develop certain strategies, get ideas of what tactics, tools, positions that our competitors might even be in as well. But both tools kind of work on the same premise. They're going to pull down from your competitor's URL, and you drop that information into, basically, I'll call it their analysis tool, right, for lack of a better word. And same with SpyFu. And what it does is it starts to spit out a lot of data based on that URL and based on what it can find. And so, I'm going to focus on a few things, again, for the context of this high level video. I'm going to hit on organic research, advertising research, and display advertising. So I'm going to head over and again in SEMrush to organic research. And what this is going to show me is their current US-based organic keyword rankings. So I'll scroll to this section here, which highlights the top organic keywords. And what you'll notice is this is the keyword or search term on Google. This is their current position, so they rank first. This is the average monthly search volume for those terms. And really, when I look at this, I look at those three columns to give me a quick understanding of what's going on. And so I can always drill into this a little bit deeper. I'll close this out for a second, but what you can see, again, all the keywords that position monthly search volume aggregate over the last 12 months, and then the CPC, which is the average cost per click if you wanted to rank or appear or compete for those keywords. So again, when you look at this from a competitive standpoint, if I'm a new wool shoe company out there and I know that Allbirds is going to be one of my competitors, I start to look at, well, where do they rank currently? What search terms are branded, right, that have their actual name in the searches, and then where does that start to differentiate? Okay, here's an example. Most comfortable shoes, right? A couple others, as you start to scroll down, you'll notice just a ton of branded, even on shoes starting to rank. So I think I'd start to formulate a strategy, wool shoes men. So there's one that's a little broader, right? If I'm a wool shoe company as well, then I'd say, this is interesting. Allbirds currently ranks first for wool shoes men and merino wool shoes. The monthly search volume, there's 720 people on average for both of those categories that are searching for that term. You want to capture that market share a little bit, right? That search share, that keyword share. And now you need to start to formulate a strategy, right, from an SEO standpoint on how do we start to prioritize and rank for those terms. Maybe you say, okay, that's going to take a little bit. Could take 6, 12, 18 months, right, to start to compete organically. Am I willing to pay, via the form of Google AdWords to rank first overnight and start to capture that search volume immediately, right? That's where the strategy starts to come into play. Do you allocate capital to paid acquisition? How much do you put towards your SEO? Where do you prioritize some of your SEO? And we talk about this in some of the other videos as well. But this quickly gives you an idea of where a competitor is competing just from organic standpoint. So again, that's not even looking at advertising. So now we're in, and you'll see a lot of similar fields, but we're into what Allbirds is paying for from search keywords. And again, I can highlight over this here. 486 keywords is what they're paying for right now to appear, obviously, first in many of these search results to try to drive people to their website. So even them, and obviously they're trying to preserve their brand on a lot of these, but they know, holy moly, 110,000 people search all space birds. We need to be there, and we need to make sure we're there first, both organically and via paid. So this gives some insight, too, to where they're and how they're thinking about spending their advertising dollars. And then even just a brief kind of estimate of, what would it cost to rank for all those keywords over time. And then we get into display advertising, and this is where you can start to see some of their sample ads that they're running and where, publisher-wise, those ads are being placed. So I'm going to just drill into this again. Again, similar to Facebook, you start to understand, okay, that's how they're setting up their ads. What's their value proposition? What's their imagery look like? Obviously, I'm not surprised that, this ad is going on. If you look at their site right now, that's what they're leading with, the tree dasher. It's new. And so again, I've focused on SEMRush here in particular, but this translates over similarly to SpyFu. And really, the bigger differentiators are price when it comes to a lot of this. And again, this is part art, part science. This is what their technology can help peel back, obviously very quickly once you put in the URL. But take it with a grain of salt too, right? Make sure, don't have it necessarily be the only North Star to your strategy, but this is a great guide, right? These tools, these platforms, there's a ton out there to help guide you as you kind of build a holistic marketing, go-to-market strategy, digital marketing strategy. Thanks.